Councillors, can I have your attention, please? Welcome to this meeting of the Town Planning Committee. I declare the meeting open. We will commence the meeting with the following reflection. I would ask those gathered to join us now for a few moments of silence as we reflect on our roles in this chamber. Please use this opportunity for reflection, prayer or thought to focus on our shared intention to work respectfully together for the well-being of our whole community. Thank you. The Cardinia Shire Council respectfully acknowledges that we are on the traditional land of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri people and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I note that we have received no apologies for tonight's meeting. Councillors, are there any declarations of interest? I see none. Thank you. The items on today's agenda are item 5.1 T220754 PA, removal of native and other vegetation at 6 Coolbirra Road, Mary Knoll. This application was withdrawn by the applicant last week, therefore this matter will not be considered this evening. Item 5.2 220285 PA, use and development of land for a medical centre and alteration of an access in a transport zone Schedule 2 at 337 Belgrave Gembrook Road, Emerald. Councillor Springfield, you wish to move to defer consideration of this application. Can you please move your motion?
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to move that this application be deferred until the next meeting of the Town Planning Committee to allow the provision of further information on the traffic impacts of this application upon Madigan Way. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Kowalczyk. I'll go back to the mover to speak, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, we have this application in front of us, which it has been in motion for a little bit of time now. Went out for public notification some months ago and received a bit of feedback to it. But look, going over all the particulars of this over the last week since we've seen the report handed down by council officers for the recommendation. Look, I feel that I really need to see I would like to see some more information on the traffic impacts, particularly for Madigan Way and the usage of Madigan Way where it currently sits and how this will impact it. In its entirety, you know, there is many concerns being raised about this application, but I'm happy to see something like this proceed. I see the benefit, what it delivers for the community, bringing medical practitioners into the area, on the net balance of it all. But I am concerned about what these impacts may be if they're not measured properly upon Madigan Way, because we potentially are doubling the usage of this roadway for this application. So for tonight, I'm just calling for councillors to support me in deferring that, and then seeking more information from council's engineering, traffic engineering department towards this outcome. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll go to the seconder. Councillor Kowalczyk, please.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Councillor Springfield, for moving this motion to defer. I concur with your sentiments there, Councillor Springfield. I do think that this application has the potential to provide a lot of benefits, but until we get that additional information, I don't think councillors can make a wholly informed decision about some perhaps potential other issues that could occur by allowing this to go through. So I'm supportive of this deferral and I hope it's supported tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please ask if there are any other councillors who would like to speak for or against? Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Mayor. The other thing I'd like to raise is I think it's really important that we understand how Madigan Road or Madigan Street is, whether it's sealed, the whole lot of it's sealed or it's unsealed, and what implications that's going to have on the carriage of vehicles on Madigan Road if only a portion of it's sealed and a portion of it is unsealed, and whether or not that's a council maintained road. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors that would like to speak for or against? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover. Councillor Springfield, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you by councillors for their words of support towards this motion of deferral. Look, I'd just like to note that I'm sure there's many residents out there that are eager to see what the outcome is of this town planning item. I know there's many residents that are keen to see what will happen in the future here with this particular application, and I'm sure the applicants are as well. So I would like to just commend them. They've put a lot of work in here. Our town planners have put a lot of work into this. If you read through the item, it has a lot of different recommendations as part of that, because it is it is a big development. It's not just an easy fix type thing, and that hence why it's gone through this process up to this stage. And I'm requesting this further information to make sure that before we make a decision on this, we have everything at hand that we need, and we make sure all our ducks are lined up for the best outcome in the future. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 5.3, subdivision of land into 2 lots, 4 Striggingbark Road, Cockatoo, Victoria. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Springfield? The officer's recommendation.
Oh, yes, sorry, Mayor. I would like to move the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Ross. Thank you. I'll go the mover first, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, noting the officer's report, this subdivision, I think it is. I agree with the officer's report. It's not in keeping with the neighbourhood character of this area, and the subdivisions do become quite small at this point. But noting this is on a road network that is unsealed in Cockatoo, I don't think that it meets all the requirements that I would deem necessary to increase the housing density along this sort of narrow strip. And I feel for the residents who wish to seek another outcome here, but I think this is in the blessed planning mindset of this council to refuse this application at this point in time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll now go to the seconder. Councillor Ross, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I 100% concur with Councillor Springfield. I drove up there and had a look myself, and I've been up that road before, and it just isn't in vogue with the area, and they would really struggle in that area to have more traffic, and particularly how narrow the road is and the channels and everything. It is so hard to get in there and out, and that was when the weather was actually quite good. So I concur 100%. It wouldn't be appropriate for the area. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. May I ask if there are any other councillors who would like to speak for or against? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover. Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further to add, except perhaps, in the future, once the services are built better in this area, if the planning overlays allow for such type of considerations, maybe there would be a point in time for this council to reconsider. But in the present point, and looking at the size of these properties already, I really do think this is be an oversaturation if we allowed more housing density to be in this narrow, unsealed road network up in Cockatoo, in a high bushfire risk area as well. Yeah, I think this is the best choice for council to make at this point in time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. Item 5.4 T220214 PA, Buildings and Works, construction of an outbuilding and native vegetation removal at 155 Gordon Road, Pakenham Upper. Councillor Owen, you wish to remove that this matter be deferred. Can I please ask you to move your motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I move that this application be deferred until the next meeting of the Town Planning Committee to allow further consideration of the application by councillors.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Davies. Thank you. I'll go back to the mover, please, Councillor Owen.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Davies. Last night, councillors got an email from the owner. I know the owner is being represented by a consulting firm who is the applicant in the paperwork, but the owner wanting councillors to visit the site, and unfortunately I don't think any councillors had the opportunity to go there, but I personally want to visit the site. So I'm asking for a deferment to give councillors, if they wish to attend the site. I spoke to the owner today, and he indicated he was open for it to be deferred. So this will just give councillors further time to liaise with planners, attend the site if they wish, to get a better understanding of this application before we make a decision on it. So I move so. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll now go to the seconder, Councillor Davies, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I will be supporting Councillor Owen's motion to defer this item tonight. I too had been contacted by the owners, and whilst I don't go out on site and meet any developers, including property owners one-on-one, I do believe that councillors should have the opportunity to inspect in person before making their decision, should they wish to. And I would also, I certainly would encourage all applicants to make sure that they do connect with councillors in it and work with council staff, and so that hopefully we don't end up in this situation too often. But I have no objection to supporting other councillors take a little bit longer, but make the right decision. So I'm very happy to support Councillor Owen tonight, and I will consider the planning material in detail, but I will not be attending site one-on-one. Personal preference. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please ask if there are any other councillors who would like to speak for or against? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover. Councillor Owen, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Davies. I've got no further. Thank you. I move so.
Thank you. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. Item 5.5, planning matters dealt with by officers under delegated authority. May I have a mover, please? Oh. Well, I'll go Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish to move the officer's recommendation for the issues dealt with under delegation. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Davies. I'll go back to the mover. Councillor Cameron, please.
I have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go the seconder. Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Cameron. The majority of matters planning matters are actually dealt by council officers under delegated authority, and this report lists a multitude of planning applications, some childcare centres, some new dwellings, some sheds, some driveways, some garages. So having reviewed the report, there's only 2 applications within my own ward of Tumark, but there's multiple in the other wards too, other wards across the Shire. There is a great, it's really heartening to see how many planning approvals are happening, and that construction and that rebound post-pandemic is happening right across our Shire. So I do want to encourage, encourage development, and I'm glad that that is happening in an ordered and considered way. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors who'd like to speak for or against? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover, please, to sum up.
I have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. Item 5.6, Planning Matters VCAT Report 2023. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Kowalczyk.
I move that council note the report.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Davies. I'll go back to Councillor Kowalczyk, please.
Thank you, Mayor Radford. Thank you, Councillor Davies, for the second. This report lists matters that have been taken to VCAT, and is just good for the Town Planning Committee to review this list to ensure that we're keeping abreast of what our officers are dealing with. Something that I think is relevant to report to the committee tonight is in a matter recently decided at VCAT, this Town Committee's decision to refuse to issue a permit for the use and development of the land for a place of worship was affirmed by VCAT. No permit was issued. So I think that shows good governance and good deliberation by this committee when VCAT upholds our decisions. There's a number of matters still currently the subject of VCAT appeal, and I won't comment on those at the moment, but there's limited information contained in the report if the community is interested. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll go to the seconder, Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Kowalczyk. It is really interesting that that there are 6 active matters with VCAT, and these objections have been raised by developers or by objectors, and I think it's really exciting that, it's pleasing that despite the hundreds of applications, that that's a relatively small amount that is referred further review. So I'm conscious that appropriate governance and integrity in the planning, in all planning matters is occurring, and we'll continue to read this report and note contentious items for my own review and learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other councillors who would like to speak for or against? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover, Councillor Kowalczyk.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing further to add.
Thank you. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour, I declare that carried unanimously. Item 5.7, Planning Scheme Amendment Activity Report. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Kowalczyk. Thank you. I'll go back to Councillor Springfield.
Nothing further to add, except to wish to note the report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll go back to the seconder, Councillor Kowalczyk.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just add just a quick small note from the Pakenham South Employment Precinct. The amendment has been submitted to the Minister for Planning for approval. An infrastructure contributions plan was adopted at the May 23 council meeting by council, Amendment C273, and submitted to the Minister for Planning for approval to allow the progression of this amendment. Obviously, this is a very important employment precinct in Cardinia Shire, and it's pleasing to note the progress that's happening at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor, for noting the Cardinia Shire municipal-wide amendment regarding environmentally sustainable development, the ESD local policy and associated changes in the municipal strategic statement does continue to be listed. You'll recall in March 2023, Council resolved to seek the authorisation to prepare the amendment, and this change to improved environmentally sustainability outcomes in built infrastructure is a transition that is happening statewide, and and I just thought it's really important just to note that these things do take time. So hopefully we will get some response, and hopefully that'll be in place, and a decision will come through soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors who would like to speak for or against? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover, Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for my fellow councillors for their words. I have nothing further to add, so thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour, I declare that carried unanimously. So that concludes tonight's Town Planning Committee meeting. Thank you for our councillors and general managers for your attendance, and those in the gallery, and thank you for watching online. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you.